It started as a productivity hack. Now there's a hitman in my closet. There's a silence that comes with total creative failure. It isn't empty. It's heavy, filled with the ghosts of every word you didn't write, every idea left to rot. I had been living in that silence for 2 years. My apartment was a mausoleum for a novel that would never be born. Then I found the pacer. It wasn't on some public forum. You had to dig for it through nested links on forgotten blogs and whispered referrals in private chat rooms for desperate artists. The site itself was stark, black text on a white screen. No pictures, no testimonials. Just a service agreement and a price. Discipline is a product. We provide the overhead, you provide the work. Set your metric, meet your metric. Failure to comply terminates the contract. And you. It was probably a joke, some elaborate performance art piece. But I was working 40 hours a week at a 24-hour diner that smelled of stale coffee and desperation, and my soul was shriveling into a raisin. My book, a surrealist piece about a man trying to draw a map of his own grief, was collecting digital dust. I was 32. The silence was getting too loud. I paid the first installment, $100 in cryptocurrency. A form field appeared. Weekly metric. I thought about it, trying to be realistic. Ambitious but attainable. 15 pages. I hit enter. A new line of text appeared. Metric accepted. Your pacer is assigned. No address, no phone number, no request for a photo. They didn't need it. That should have been the first warning. The first week was a revelation. Fear, it turns out, is a hell of a muse. The thought of this nebulous, lethal consequence had me chained to my desk. The pages poured out of me. I wrote about my cartographer discovering that the coastlines of his grief changed every morning, that forests of sorrow could sprout up overnight where yesterday there had only been plains of numbness. I finished my 15 pages by Thursday. I uploaded the document to the site's sterile portal. A moment later, an email. The subject line was my client ID number. The body contained a single sentence. Receipt acknowledged. Continue. I leaned back in my chair, a giddy relief washing over me. The knot in my stomach, a companion for the last several years, actually loosened. It was working. Of course, the high didn't last. The next week the words came slower. The dread had faded into a background hum, and my old habits crept back in. By Friday morning I had 6 pages. I spent most of the day staring at the blinking cursor, my brain a static-filled dead zone. That night I woke up with a jolt. I don't know why. The room was dark, silent. My computer was in sleep mode, its power button pulsing softly. I sat up, and that's when I saw it. The monitor wasn't black. It was displaying an image. It was a photograph of me, sleeping. The picture was taken from the foot of my bed. The quality was perfect, the moonlight from the window painting my stupid, slack-jawed face in shades of grey. In the corner of the image, there was a timestamp. It was from 2 minutes ago. My blood went cold. I scrambled out of bed, fumbling for the light switch, my heart hammering against my ribs. The light flooded the room. Empty. The window was locked. The apartment door was deadbolted from the inside. There was nowhere anyone could have been. I looked back at the monitor. It was black again, the power button pulsing its gentle rhythm. As if nothing had happened. I didn't sleep again that night. I wrote. I wrote like a man possessed, my fear a white-hot engine. I uploaded 17 pages at dawn on Saturday. The email came instantly. Receipt acknowledged. Continue. I paid the next month's fee without hesitation. For 2 months, I was a machine. Every strange noise, every shadow that seemed too long, I channeled it all onto the page. I'd find things slightly out of place. My favourite coffee mug moved to a different shelf. A book on my desk opened to a page I hadn't been reading. I told myself it was just the stress, that I was forgetting things. I had to. The alternative was unthinkable. I was halfway through my book. Then, the block came back. A real one this time. A wall of solid concrete in my head. A scene where my cartographer finally finds the heart of his grief. A silent, empty city just wouldn't come. It was the climax. Everything rested on it. And I had nothing. Friday came and went. 7 pages done. Pathetic. Saturday, I had a double shift at the diner. The hours dragged. I was wiping down the sticky vinyl of a booth around 2 a.m., my mind a frantic mess, when the little bell over the door chimed. I looked up, ready to paste on my customer service smile. It froze on my face. A man was standing there. He was abnormally tall, dressed in a simple dark suit that seemed to absorb the greasy fluorescent light. He was bald, with a face that looked like it had been assembled from mismatched parts, a nose that had been broken more than once, small, dark eyes like chips of obsidian. And he was smiling, not a friendly smile. It was a small, placid, knowing curve of the lips. It was the most terrifying thing I had ever seen. He moved to the counter and sat down, his movements unnervingly fluid. He didn't make a sound. "What can I get for you?" I managed, my voice thin. He just looked at me. The smile never wavered. He slowly raised one hand, a hand that was too large, with fingers that were too long. He held up 2 fingers. Then he lowered one. One. He held the single finger up for a long moment, then stood, turned, and walked out. The bell didn't even chime when the door closed behind him. One day. I ripped off my apron, told my manager I was sick, and ran out of there. I drove home in a blind panic, slammed the door, and threw every lock I had. I sat at my computer, my body trembling so hard the chair shook. I tried to write. I really did. But the fear was paralyzing. In my desperation, I did something stupid. I opened the document, and I just started mashing the keyboard. Gibberish. Pages and pages of it, formatted to look like text. I padded my 7 pages of real writing into 20. My stomach churned as I uploaded the file. Maybe the system was automated. Maybe no one actually read it. The file vanished from the portal. My screen went black. White text appeared, burning into my retinas. Do not waste my time. Then my computer shut down. Not slept, shut down. I tried to turn it back on. Nothing. It was a brick. Sunday. Less than 12 hours left. My primary tool was dead. I dug my old, slow laptop out of the closet. While it booted, I paced my tiny apartment, my gut twisting into a sailor's knot of pure acid. The breakthrough came from that panic. My cartographer wouldn't find an empty city. He would find a perfect replica of his own childhood home, and inside, a version of himself, sitting at a desk, unable to write. I started typing. The words came in a flood. I didn't care about prose, about style. I just wrote. An hour to midnight. 13 pages. The floorboards in the hall outside my apartment creaked. I froze, listening. Silence. I told myself it was the building settling. I kept typing. 30 minutes. 14 pages. The lock on my apartment door clicked. A soft, metallic sound. I stared at the door, my breath caught in my throat. It was a triple bolt lock. It shouldn't be possible. The doorknob began to turn, slowly, back and forth, as if testing the mechanism. Then, with a final decisive snap, it turned all the way. The door swung inward with a low groan. He was standing in the doorway. He was bigger than I remembered. So tall, his head nearly brushed the top of the frame. The shadows in the hallway seemed to cling to him, to stretch and warp around his form. He took a step into my apartment and the door swung shut behind him. He didn't make a sound. The placid smile was still on his face. I turned back to the screen, my fingers flying. A primal part of my brain screamed at me to run, to fight, but I knew with absolute certainty that my only chance was to finish. 10 minutes. A little over half a page left. I could feel him behind me. A palpable cold radiated from him, raising goosebumps on my arms. The air grew thick, smelling of ozone and cold stone. He was walking toward me. I didn't hear footsteps, but I could feel the vibrations through the floor. 5 minutes. A paragraph left. I risked a glance over my shoulder. He was right behind my chair, looming over me. His smile had widened, showing a line of teeth that were too white, too perfect. He wasn't breathing. He was just there. A statue carved from nightmare. His long-fingered hands were held slightly out, ready. I typed the last sentence. I hit the period. Done. 15.25 pages. 1 minute to midnight. My relief lasted a nanosecond. I still had to upload it. My hands were slick with sweat. I fumbled with the trackpad. The cursor skipped across the screen. I dragged the file. The upload bar appeared. It crawled. 10%. 20. The cold at my back intensified. I could feel his presence like a physical weight. 30 seconds left. 80%. 10 seconds. I could feel his breath on my neck, though there was no breath, just a cold, dead stillness. 5, 4, 3. The bar hit 100%. Upload complete. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for the impact, for the snap of my neck. Nothing happened. After a full minute, I dared to open my eyes. He was gone. The room was empty. The door was closed, the deadbolt thrown from the inside. It was as if he'd never been there. I sat there for a long time, shaking, before I threw up all over my keyboard. That was it. I was done. I spent the next day trying to find the website. The URL was dead. I sent an email to the address I had. It bounced back, user does not exist. It was over. I was free. I laid in bed for 3 days, drifting in and out of a feverish sleep. It's been a week. I'm starting to feel human again. I even cleaned the vomit off my old laptop. I haven't written a word, and it feels wonderful. It's Sunday night. My phone just buzzed on the nightstand. A calendar reminder. I never set it. The title is my old client ID number. The alert text is simple. Submission due. I'm telling myself it's a glitch, a ghost in the machine, a final, cruel joke. But my closet door is slightly ajar, and I can't shake the feeling that something is in there, smiling in the dark.